G'day F1 fans. British Grand Prix race time. Did any of you see the Lego race beforehand? That was quite entertaining as always. Hope everyone is well and looking forward to, the feature race for the British Grand Prix. Looks like we've got sunny weather and I don't think there's any chance of rain. Okay, just gonna get my streams all set up here. Get the live timing ready as well. Okay. Okay, get some sound on this, get this right, always on top. Well, based on what I saw at what we saw with the Lego, I was going to call it the Lego feature race, but the Lego drivers parade. Hope there's no little pieces on the track that can cause a puncture. That would be pretty devastating. Getting nerfed by a piece of Lego. Okay, let's get this sorted. Track map. And continue to live timing. Okay, there's my track map. We're happy with that. Syncing up. Everything is syncing up. All right, X-Feed. Is that big news? Christian Horner back in the paddock together with Red Bull press officer Alice Hedworth. Hey, it's Silverstone. I don't think there's anything you probably read into that too much, but I'm sure over the next 24, 48 hours, there'll be some chatter about it, where he was seen. Was he seen in any particular garage? Maybe Aston Martin. You know, he would be a pretty good fit down there. He would. They need a bit of help over at Aston Martin. Okay. So yeah, bit of the Lego action. It looks like Max and Liam together on the grass. Liam getting a bit closer to the fans by the looks of it. Doesn't look too comfortable. I think the thing needs a bit of suspension, huh? I think it's a bit of a plank, absolute plank of wood. Yeah, by the look on his face it was. And we've broken the F1 record for the most cars beached in a single race. Well, there you have it. Are they the smartest drivers on Earth? Not too sure about that, but definitely they're having a lot of fun. But I don't think going across the gravel pit was going to work for many. Did anyone get through? Did anyone actually... Oh, is that Ocon or Behrman over there? I think he did. Yeah, the Haas's, two Haas's did. So a few did. A few went the shortcut and profited off it. But as you can see, many got stuck. So, yeah, here we go. Kim Elman putting up Christian Horner returns. Like I said, it'll be probably hot news, hot rumors over the next 24, 48 hours. I can't wait to see the reports. He was seen with certain people in certain garages. I'm sure that'll all come out. Again, rumours are, there's always been rumours about Christian where he's going to end up. But the latest one again circulating is around Aston Martin, which does make sense. They do need help, but who knows? Who knows what happens? Looks like on the feed, the national anthem is being played, all very formal. How good is the British GP trophy? Huh? It's one of the best on the grid. Looks like a proper trophy. Proper work of art. I will jump over onto the telemetry soon when we get a little bit closer. Got a bit of time to burn. Oh, that's what I wanted to go through was just regarding expected pit stop strategies and windows. Look, pretty much on track for a one-stopper, unfortunately. I don't think we're going to get a multi. Just not enough deg here. So they're looking at, there's 4 strategies for you right there. 4 strats. Mediums onto hards, so they're looking at that window being around 24 to 30. Medium onto soft, so just extending a little bit, 29 to 35 laps. Hard onto mediums, 28 to 34 lap pit window. And for those that want to go a little bit aggressive at the start with the softs, they're looking at a 16 to 22 lap pit window. These are from like Pirelli, so from the experts, right? The tyre experts. So I'm pretty sure they'll be pretty close in their assumptions. But yeah, they basically did say it's a one stop. So unfortunately, we probably won't get a big strategy mix up because this is, I think, one of the issues with having a sprint race weekend is a lot of teams sort of get on the. Well, you could say they don't have enough time practice running longer tyre simulations, all that type of stuff, but I think they get a pretty good idea from the sprint race regarding DEG. So, yeah, I think it tends to, I guess condense the strategies a bit closer together based on that for the feature race. So, I don't know about you guys, but who have you got to win? I think, personally, I think Antonelli is, like, I don't want to say it because I'll probably jinx him, but a shoo-in. I can't see him being stopped in all honesty. Oh, this was the race simulation pace. Again, there's a clear. Of course, take these with a bit of a grain of salt, but I think it does give a pretty good idea of where things are at. And Mercedes are definitely in a league of their own. And then just a typical shenanigans down the grid. The Racing Bulls Alpine battle will be pretty good, I think, for those final couple of positions in the top 10 for points. Audi, they look pretty quick off that one lap pace, but I don't know about their race pace. If this is accurate, it's probably a bit off. And yeah, it looks like just Williams, Haas. As far as midfield, they're going to struggle massively, and of course the perennial back markers with Cadillac and Aston Martin. So I guess their challenge is, can they actually finish the race? Finish the race, lads. Get some more data. So we've got 12 minutes until session starts. I don't think there's any other big news regarding anything today. I'm pretty sure the grid positions are all stock standard. I don't think there's anyone starting from pit lane, or at least I haven't heard anything yet regarding that. So maybe someone may give us a slight surprise. Well, I guess the Lego race is always one of the interesting parts. Wheel-to-wheel action, which I hope we do get today in today's race. A little bit of, I was going to say a little bit of cloud cover behind, but yeah, I don't think we're going to get a sprinkle of rain, which is a bit of a shame. Max Verstappen after qualifying, apparently. If we leave this car as it is, there's little point in racing. So I guess that sums up the current confidence for Max Verstappen for today. So let's hope he's wrong. Very rarely he is wrong. But let's hope he can get in the mix. Anything else before I switch over? Good to see Jeremy Clarkson on the grid. Naturally, with the news around his health lately, hasn't been so great. There we go. This is the type of action we want. And who's that? Gabby and the Hulk. Unfortunately, I don't think Hulk is going to replicate what he was able to achieve last year. I mean, that was epic, that podium. Definitely one of my favorite podiums of all time, in all honesty. Okay, P1 Matt and Tommy, their British predictions. Antonelli, Hamilton, Leclerc, Russell, Norris. For Matt's side, Tommy and Russell, Hamilton, Norris, Verstappen. I think the general consensus is Kimi Antonelli on most people's minds. All right, FIA document bot. Okay, final starting grid. Let me have a look. Any changes here that I can see? Okay, so car 10 had a 3 grace grid penalty, impeding the other driver Stewart's documentation. Okay, so that is Pierre Gasly, wasn't it? So Pierre is starting from 15th now. And car 18, 10 place grid penalty. Additional power unit elements have been used. So that is Sir Lancelot. Additional power unit elements. I don't think it's going to help him too much today, unfortunately. Unfortunately. All right, what I might do is I might just flick it over. I don't think there's anything more. Qualifying speeds. Okay, it's just, yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of beaching at the Lego and just a lot of shenanigans, which is precisely what we all expected. All right, let me flip it over and see how we go here. Make sure everything's lined up. Okay, we look good. That looks good. Hey, Just Hal. Sorry, just saw your message then. Hello, hello. Hope all is well. Thanks for joining again and firing up the comments. It's always good to have someone firing up the comments. Gives me the impression that I'm not sitting here by myself, which is always nice. Mick should be back. He should be back for the next Grand Prix when we do another watch-along. He flies back in tomorrow, I think, Monday night. So I may do the review episode solo tomorrow, and then from that point on, he'll be back. Your phone's bricked. What did you do? How did you manage that? Never much fun. Actually, I might just flip it back to the old Twitter feed. We've got here Red Bull's second driver out-qualified Max Verstappen only 3 times in 70 races from 2023 to 2025. Hadjar has already out-qualified Max Verstappen 3 times in his first 9 races at Red Bull. So for those that like some of those little tiddly facts, it's always good. F1 guy Dan always does pull out some pretty cool facts and statistics. I think that was Fernando Alonso trying to... I'm pretty sure it was Fernando and Valtteri, maybe? I'm not sure. Yeah, it was Valtteri. He's trying to, drag himself along. Good. Well, love him or hate him. The leaders having a bit of fun as well. Okay, again, yeah, Christian is going to be big news. That's just going to be big news over the next 24 hours. The rumours for sure. Lando's face was all of us during the final lap for F3. So maybe F3 was a stonker. I missed it. Didn't get to see it. Don't want to give it away any spoilers. All right, how long we got? 5 minutes. Now I have an old phone. Yeah, I think the worst thing with phones, right, is if you don't set them up properly to back up images and photos, and if you lose all that stuff, that's a massive pain in the butt. Massive pain in the butt. All right, I'm going to flip over because we're getting pretty close now to kickoff. Making it sound like a football match. Well, as long as the old phone can make a call, receive a message, does what it needs to do, right? Okay, intro is on. All right, I hope we get a good race. I have a feeling this may just become a bit of a procession with, with what everyone's expecting with a one stop. Kind of get the feeling if the Ferraris can't get a jump early on Kimi, I think Kimi may just sort of drive away, form a gap, and maybe the Ferrari boys may sort of fight amongst each other, slow each other down, enable Kimi to get even further ahead, and then basically take control from that point. Interesting to see what Russell can do. I expect him to... Look, I expect Russ, to be honest, I expect him to get P2, really. I'm not quite convinced on the Ferrari's race pace here, but let's see. They might surprise us. Hopefully, Max Verstappen can do something from P7. Not too sure he's really happy with the car at the moment. McLaren's, well, if you go by that short, you could say, sample that we got from the sprint race, maybe Lando Norris managed to go from, I think, P6 to P3. And I think it'll be a good fight for those last couple of positions on the inside the top 10 for points. Let's see how the start goes too. Red Bull definitely struggled again with their race start. That both of them, Hadjar and Max, in the sprint race was pretty not good. They definitely weren't happy with that. I'm now on an iPhone 10. You know what? I've never had an iPhone. I've always been, used Android. So I don't even know what iPhone they're even up to now. I think the last Apple thing I had was iPad 2. And that was what, around 2012, 2013? Just give me the old Nokia brick from like the late 90s, early 2000s. Indestructible. Indestructible. All right, so we're about a minute away. Guys are looking pretty keen to go. Okay, open that up, always on top. Yeah, mate, like I said, if it's a phone, people can call you, you can send a message, it's all good. It's all good. All right, the big tag Hoya clock ticks over the minute, and we've got the cars, green lights are on, and yeah, we're off. Antonelli leads them out. So formation lap is going, yeah, the stream looks pretty well synced on the track map. Although when you're looking at the cars on the track map, it looks like they're hitting some serious boost and jumping forward. Yeah, prediction time. I'd love to hear your predictions. I mean, for me personally, right now, as I see the grid, I just think it's going to be Kimi for the win. I think Russell will have the race pace for 2, and then the scrap for 3 is probably the hardest to predict. Hamilton's mega around here. Charles is under a lot of pressure. He needs to get a result over Lewis. Maybe the McLaren could be a bit of a dark horse race pace. Who knows what Max brings? Tough. Oh, you think Russell win? A Russell win. I mean, look, it's possible. I don't think he has the pace to do it outright, but I think if a bit of luck swings his way. And this is one of the issues I think we get with going with your sort of traditional one-stop race. Pretty sure the telemetry data is accurate at this point because sometimes it does update, but everybody's, by the looks of it, is rolling with a medium. So by the looks of that, I guess so based on what Pirelli has said, starting on a medium, if you're going to hard, you're looking at a pit stop window of 24 to 30 laps. Or if you're going medium onto the soft, you're looking at 29 lap to 35 lap pit window. So a single stopper, one stopper. All right, Antonelli just bringing them around. Oh, we have a problem. Fernando Alonso, he was stop on track and he's managed to get it around. So if you look at the track map, he's way back at turn 13. So everyone's queuing up. He may get there in time. This is sort of interesting though. So cars are still gridding up. And Fernando is just coming around now. No, so he's going to have to start from pit lane. Now, I don't know if he's retiring yet or actually going to start from pit lane. Let's see. So, yeah, everyone is confirmed. Everyone is medium tyre. Telemetry is up to date. I'm still not too sure what Alonso is going to do, so we'll see. Okay, here we go. Green flag at the back. Start procedure on. And it looks like Charles got a very good start. Charles taking the lead. Hamilton around the outside of Antonelli, so it's a 1-2 for Ferrari. So their good starts continue. Bit of a throwback to earlier in the season. Looks pretty clean. Few lockups. No one's gone off track. So, double Ferraris. You've got Russell fighting Antonelli hard as well. Russell looking for the move on the outside, but I don't think he's going to get that move done. So, the race just got a whole lot spicier with that. Cars have made contact. I think it was one of the racing balls. All right, bit hectic the start, which is good. I think this has spiced up the race a little bit with those Ferraris getting ahead because I still think Antonelli, I think the Mercedes have better race pace. Maybe I was going to say tyre deg as well, but I don't think tyre deg's going to be a massive issue here today. But let's see. Piastri's on the radio, thinks he has damage. No, Oscar. Looks like he's sliding back as well, back to P11. Yeah, Piastri's falling back, unfortunately. Yeah, damage for Piastri, unfortunately. And if you look back, track map, it looks like Albon way down the back. I think he's had a moment. So he's crawling down the back straight there, down towards turn 15. So it looks like he's going to come into the pits. All right, overtake mode's enabled. So we're going to go through that 1 to 2, 3 lap of battery overtaking before they settle down into a pace. Yeah, so front wing damage to Piastri. So he's going to box. Okay, we've got a yellow flag. Where's the yellow flag? Hulkenberg's trundling down the order as well. Yep. So unfortunately, on my stream, I haven't seen really any of the accidents or issues, except for just getting the audio cues and then just looking at the telemetry and just seeing names tumble. So Sainz, P10, that's not a bad start for Carlos, up in the points early in the race. So Max gets by Hadjar, pretty aggressive move. Good pass. But Isaac is looking to get it back. Max covers the inside. So be patient, Isaac. Don't make contact with Max. That will be a big no-no. Big no-no at this stage of the race. Any stage of the race, really, eh? So Piastri's in the pits. They've got putting a new nose on it. Or was that a replay? Oh, man, Max was loose. So Piastri, a lot of time lost in the pits, replacing that front nose, 40 seconds in total. So he'll be coming out way back. Did Albon get back out? Yeah, he did. So this is a big key thing. When you start seeing like a driver like Piastri outside the top 10 with an issue, anyone really out of those top four big teams, it gives an opportunity for some of these midfielders to pick up some scraps. So clearly, over the weekend, Racing Bulls has been the best of the rest. Lawson picking up the last point in the sprint race yesterday with P8, but Lindblad was in the mix as well. But it does give an opportunity for maybe, I was going to say Carlos. I don't know if he's going to be able to hold P10 with that Williams. I mean, it would be a pretty crazy effort. But I think it just opens up an opportunity potentially for the Audis, maybe Alpine. Yeah, best of the worst teams, yeah. Well, the good news for some of those perennial backmarkers, Cadillac, they're running as high as P15 and P16 right now. Ahead of Behrman, ahead of Hulkenberg, and of course, ahead of their sparring partners, Stroll and Alonso. Piastri, Albon. Unfortunately for Alex, this is not a good start for, you could say, a de facto home race for him. He is under a lot of pressure over at Williams. I think just on himself. I don't think the pressure's there yet as far as his seat. But yeah, performances alongside Carlos it's been pretty lackluster since pretty much this time last year. Just after the summer break last year. So it'd be interesting to see how Racing Bulls play out Liam Lawson and Arvid Lindblad. Obviously, last time out we're at Austria, weren't we? Austria, I was about to say Barcelona. In Austria, there was the issue with the team orders, Lindblad not adhering to them, and caused a little bit of spice over there. At this point in time, I think if you're Racing Bulls, the boss of Racing Bulls, you don't want your drivers to be fighting right now. Just squabbling over P8 and losing time against some of those other back market teams. I'd say you probably want both cars to push through, try and edge a bit of a gap over, well, as it is right now, Carlos, and get themselves into a better position for another double points finish. Just saw your message. How's the weather today? I'm assuming you're on track. Cloudy, sunny. Actually, track temp's up a bit compared to yesterday. I think 41.3 degrees, air temp 24. Where I am though, it's damn hot. Oh yeah, big contact between Alex Albon and I believe it was Esteban Ocon. No, sorry, Behrman. Behrman and Ocon, they were the ones that made the big contact on lap 1, or early in the race at least. And that's why Albon and you could say Behrman is back where they are right now, especially for Albon. I think he came off worse. Just noticed too, Piastri went to the hard tyre in that pit stop. So Piastri, he'll probably try and run that hard all the way to the end. It's a long way to go, but yeah, the deg is not being too much of a problem. Nah, dude in my room. Well, at least it's cool here. I got aircon working. The aircon was working perfectly. I always felt sorry for the people in Europe during that heat wave that didn't have aircon and almost all melted away. So they're trying to clear up with what happened with Piastri regarding his front wing damage, and I think Zach said something about contact with Lawson, but he hasn't seen it. Okay, so there is a little issue here for potentially Lewis Hamilton. There's an incident involving Lewis. Yeah, so there's an incident here involving car 44 noted, false start, moving before signal. And then the update was FIA stewards, incident involving car 44 under investigation, false start, moving before signal. So not ideal for Lewis if he did jump the gun just slightly. It's cooled down a bit in Europe. You're in Europe, right? Just how? I'm pretty sure you're in Europe. Was it Netherlands? Can't remember. But isn't there another heat wave coming to Europe like next week? I'm sure I heard something about it. Okay, so it's been confirmed. Lewis Hamilton has a 5-second penalty for the false start. Lewis, no. So Hamilton gonna have to serve that 5 second penalty on his next pit stop. Doesn't sound like much, but with how close some of these cars are, it's a big chunk of time. So they're showing the replay. Oh, mate. That is, it didn't look like there was much in it. It almost felt like the clutch dropped a bit and the car shook rather than lurch a long way forward. So yeah. So Palmer's sort of explaining that. Yeah, Palmer's basically said that. Yeah, it's pretty clear cut because he looks like he's dropped the clutch and the car has moved ever so slightly. Then he stopped it. It's still an issue if you go precisely by the rule book. But yeah, when you see the replay, he would not have got an advantage from what we just saw. So I think Palmer's explaining sort of how the rules are. So with the red lights, and when the fourth red light comes on, or as it goes off or comes on, any movement of the car will trigger a penalty for a false start. So yeah, it looked harsh, but unfortunately, it's just that's the way the rules are, right? So, what does Ferrari do with this? Do they play the team game? Do they instruct Lewis to make it very difficult for the Mercedes to get past and enable Leclerc get a bit of a run? I I don't think he'll do that. I still believe Hamilton will push hard. I don't think he's going to like sort of sit back and go into rear gunner mode at lap 9 of a 52 race at his home race when he's gunning for his 10th victory here. No way. Okay, Franco's made a big move. He's passed Sainz, and as expected, Sainz wasn't able to hold P10 down. Just the Williams is a whale, mate. It's a whale. So Russell was on the radio. He felt one of the gear shifts was a bit strange. So he's asked for the engineers to look at it, and he's been given the all clear. There's no issues there, or at least there's no issues that they can see. But Russell, he's falling a bit off the pace. What, 6.8 off Charles at the moment. But realistically, he just needs to hold on to Antonelli. That's the guy he needs to beat. So he's on the gearbox. Oh, looked like Hamilton went a little wide there. Might line it up for a pass down here. Okay, Kimi, no chance. But Kimi's hanging on. He's sniffing the gearbox. I think he can get this move done pretty soon. There we go. Oh, Kimi got the good move done just before Cops. So now I think the focus is, can Antonelli pick up the pace now that he's got a bit of clear air? He's got a 4.2 second gap to Charles. Can he eat into that? The other thing too, Hamilton he's still hanging there, but I don't know if that Ferrari's got that pace. We saw yesterday in the sprint race, once Kimi was able to get the move done, he was able to pull away. It was a basic pass by Kimi in the end, but the good news, I think, from his perspective is he was patient. Picked his moment well. All right, Verstappen's on the radio. He's like, already for a few laps now, I haven't said anything, but the downshifts are, use your imagination. He's not happy. He is not happy. All right, still around a 4-second gap to Charles from Kimi, so seems to be holding it all right. Last lap, Kimi was 0.2 quicker. Just remember, Hamilton's also got that 5-second penalty as well, so he's going to have to throw that on top of his pit. Now, just remember, the earliest sort of pit stop window on the mediums is, if they're going to go and switch to a hard, they're probably looking at anywhere between lap 24 and lap 30. If they want to go softer at the end, naturally they're going to extend that out. So we're still about at least 10 laps away from, you could say, the first lot of pit stops. What do you guys think of the McLaren livery for this week? Predominantly white. Any takers for the McLaren livery? You think it was a good one, a good special for the UK, for the British Grand Prix? So they were just talking about pit stop strategies then. Zach Brown still believes it's a one-stop race, depending on if they can keep these mediums in a long window. Keep in mind they went with the hardest compounds here this weekend. C1, C2, C3. All right, looking at that gap with Kimi, it's still it's 4.5. So Leclerc is actually doing a pretty good job. Last lap, he was around a 10th quicker. So I was actually expecting Kimi to close the gap a little quicker, but it looks like it's going the other way. So again, maybe Leclerc is going on, pushing a little bit harder at this particular moment of the race. I'll bring that down there. It's much easier for me to see. Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing the onboard with Max if he's been, because he's not too far off Russell here at P4, P5, P4 battle. Just remember these gaps are relative to Charles Leclerc at the moment. All right, so we've got some visual of Max now. So, yeah, let's see how aggressive he gets with his old sparring partner, George Russell. So what they're talking about at the moment is Piastri, because of the damage he had, the early pit stop, going onto the hard, and whether he could go all the way on that hard. They're sort of debating whether that's going to be a possibility and bring him back into, not for a race win, but at least bring him potentially back into the points. It's going to require a lot of management for poor old Oscar. So Lindblad's on the radio and he's asking the team, can you tell him to hurry up, please? So he's talking about his teammate, Liam. So Lawson currently has a 1.2 second lead over Lindblad. Lindblad clearly wants the team to probably swap them. He's sort of insinuating that he has more pace. So let's see if Racing Bulls do anything over there. The issue for them is they don't want to be fighting each other for, P8 and lose a lot of time to the guys behind them, like Gabby and the Alpine boys. So yeah, it wouldn't be good for them to be fighting. Now, if Lindblad is clearly quicker, I mean, Racing Bulls could jump on the radio, swap them around and say, look, you've got 5 to 10 laps, or maybe 5 laps to pull a gap. Otherwise, we'll bring you back. But we'll see. Probably just tell them to hold stations for now. Okay, so Alex Albon, I didn't see when it did happen, but it looks like he is back in the pits and now pitting back out. Okay, let's look at these lap times for Lawson, if he does pick up the pace or not, regarding to Lindblad. Lindblad's radio comment. Here we go. Crossing the line. What do we got? So Lawson was, 2/10 quicker on that lap. So he probably got the message. All right, looks like we have got Max Verstappen on George's gearbox, setting himself up for a move. Let's see how aggressive this may get. Oh, easy. So Max gets the pass done. The issue is, though, what we're seeing with a lot of these passes in that particular part of the track is just purely down to battery deployment, which is a shame. But can Russell repass? He's looking for it. Ooh. Russell's hanging onto the gearbox. Ah, there we go. Verstappen's boxed. Now, this feels a bit early. So, Max into the pits. He's actually the first to enter the pits without having any problems. If it's a one stop, it's a very early one stop. 2.6 second stop. And what did we get on? It's got to be the hards, right? It has to be the hards. Okay, Verstappen back into clean air in front of Lawson. So it was a good stop overall. Got him into a good slot. Just in front of the Racing Bulls. Okay, so Max on the hard tyre. We're still in one-stop territory by the looks of it. Even despite that early stop. Yeah, remember the window was around 24 laps on the medium, but maybe with Max now coming in early, we may get the effect where the other teams start to look coming in early. It looks like Hulkenberg has done the same thing. He's basically mimicked what Max has done. Hards on as well, back in P18. So as far as pace, Charles and Kimi are basically just neck and neck. It's just been a very consistent between 4.5 second gap over the last probably at least 4 or 5 laps. But if Charles can get this done, mate, this is going to be a big win for him. It's quite the statement drive, quite the bounce back. Looks like Lando is about to try and set up a pass on Hadjar for P5. Okay, Norris within a second of Hadjar, actually just did his best lap with a 34.7. All right. Kimi's finally got it down just under 4 seconds, that gap. All right, Hadjar has dived into the pits. So let's see if this is a clean stop. Hits his marks. Bit slow on the rear right. 4.3 second stop. Very slow for Red Bull standards. And Hadjar will probably be on the radio complaining about that. He will not be happy with that. It's a couple of seconds loss. So he's come out just behind Gabby Bortoletto. Now, Gabby hasn't pitted yet. So, yeah, not good because ideally with the faster stop, they would have got him into the gap in front of Gabby. But unfortunately, Hadjar is going to lose a bit of time here. He's looking pretty aggressive trying to get down the inside of Gabby, but unable to do it. So Hadjar should get the move done here. Going down the inside just before Cops. It's Cops, I think. Cops. Yeah, easy. Yeah, a bit disappointing for Hadjar, really. Just losing that couple of seconds in the pit and then coming out right behind Gabby. Lost a little bit of time there, trying to get in front of him quickly. Let's start a poll. Can Leclerc win from here? Boom. I'm going to start a poll just for the hell of starting a poll. Can Charles win from this juicy position? Looks like Kimi he has pulled off 5/10 over the last couple of laps. There was a 4-second gap for quite some time. It looks like Kimi is starting to pick up the pace a little bit. We're getting close into that proper medium pit window. Sainz is in the pits. 2.9 second stop, so not the quickest, but not too bad. Unfortunately for Carlos and the Williams, they were running as high as 10th early in the race, but it was always going to be a massive uphill battle in that overweight Williams. So Lewis, he's in a bit of a race on his own at the moment in P3. Remember, he still has the 5-second time penalty to serve in his first pit stop. Alonso fans, your boy is in the pits. Let's hopefully it's a pit stop that is scheduled rather than the traditional Aston Martin pit stop where they'd like to come in and throw the towel in. 3.1 second pit stop for Alonso. Good news, he's coming back out. All right, we've got a virtual safety car. What has gone on? Hey. Here we go. It's a you'll never guess. It's a yellow Lando Norris umbrella on the side of the track, which has just brought out a virtual safety car. And now it's ending, just like that. So who's coming into the pits? We've got Ocon. I think it's just Ocon. And VSC is ending, so Ocon's really not going to get any benefit out of this. And Sergio Perez as well. Fuck. Can you imagine that? An umbrella causes a VSC. That is ridiculous. Yeah, props to the marshal. He did get it out of the way pretty quickly. So that could have been a disaster for some of the guys that pitted earlier, which was especially Max Verstappen. It would have been detrimental to that early pit stop he took. But Perez and Ocon, they came in, they were gambling, and well, I don't think they won or lost anything really. So Hamilton's on the radio, he's just complaining about understeer. All right, Hadjar is lining up Arvid. Lindblad doesn't look like he wants to make it easy for Isaac, but I think for Lindblad, it would be in his best interest to let Hadjar through. It's not his fight. And I think with Lindblad, he'll just lose a lot of time in relation to Liam. The good news for Liam, he was given the hurry up due to Lindblad on the radio telling the team that he wanted Lawson to pick up pace, and he's done that, and he's actually extended his lead over Lindblad from, which was around 1.5 seconds, up to around, I think, 3 seconds now. All right, so we've got Hadjar on the gearbox of Arvid. Ooh, spicy between those two. Hadjar got the move done easy. Okay, Hamilton back on the radio. Box. Oh, here we go. We've got commotion in Ferrari. He got the box, and then Hamilton on the radio. My tyres are still good. He's coming anyway. 5-second penalty first, remember. Okay, ready to go. They're definitely adjusting the front flap. And so 8.8 second pit stop for Hamilton with that 5-second penalty on top. Russell has been able to jump him in the pits as well. Okay, so Lewis is out just behind Russell. And he got in front of some lap traffic, which I think may be Alonso. It's hard to tell. Okay, so we're pretty much entering that medium pit window, which was suggested for 24. Gasly's made his stop. Looks like... Was it a slow stop? Because he's been undercut. Well, he got cooked by Colapinto and Carlos. Right, so it should be a little good battle that will now form between Russell and Hamilton. It's a shame Hamilton got that 5-second penalty for that false start. When you look at the replay, it was definitely harsh in the sense of he really gained no advantage from it, but the way the rules are written, it is definitely a penalty. All right. All right, let's know with the poll. I've got a poll going with can Charles get the win from here? He is controlling the race, although Kimi has eaten into his lead relatively aggressively over the last couple of laps. But I think this may be Charles's best chance to get the dub. All right, Charles is coming into the pits. He has one of the... Yeah, he's got Albon in front of him, going into the pits as well. Now, can Ferrari nail this pit stop for Charles? Don't ruin it, Ferrari. Come on. Tyres on. Quick. Stonk. Good stop. 2.4 second stop for Charles. Could have just been Charles's luck, right? Come into the pits, problem with the tyre, lose a lot of time, and then basically balk his race. Albon has done, I think, 2 or maybe 3 pit stops already in this race. Okay, so just something to be interested in is Albon has come in and he has put the softs on. So he is the first to run softs. Look, I don't think we're going to see softs here. I think from here it's basically a one-stopper, and I think basically we're going from medium to hard. So Albon is clearly in testing mode, but it will be interesting to see what sort of times he can pull on those softs. All right, so when is Kimi going to come in from P1? Okay, Charles is picking up the pace. Sector 2 pulled off a purple on his fresh set of hard, so he's pushing. So the engineer on the radio to Hamilton just saying, you're currently in P6, but we are fighting for P3. I guess that's the expectation for Hamilton, best case, on race pace P3. Okay, so you can see Charles is really pushing hard. He's pulling off some purples here. Maybe, let's see, can he go purple sector 1? Then a personal best, 28.9. All right, so what are Mercedes going to do with Kimi? How much longer are they going to leave him out for? Kimi on the radio, don't let other people undercut me. So he's locking in, young Kimi. He's locking in. So Mercedes, by the looks of things, not pulling him in yet. They are clearly going for a tyre offset for the end of the race. But how much time is he going to lose going out on those, well, staying out on those older mediums? Like last lap right now, 33.6 versus a 32.9 for Charles. It also depends, where would Kimi come out if he pitted now? So, can they get him into a nice clean gap as well? I mean, realistically, if he went in, I think a pit stop loss is around 20 seconds. So, he should come out clearly in front of Lando. Lando's going to come and pit now anyway. "100% of you right now think Charles Leclerc can get the job done from that point that I put the poll up. Even right now, I think he is still a good shot. I still think Kimi has something up his sleeve, though. I think that Mercedes generally will be very strong to finish. Okay, so Lindblad, first of the Racing Bulls to come in. I didn't actually see his pit stop, so not sure if it was a quick one. Hopefully he had no problems. Hard to come on, so yeah, it's pretty much a one stop lined up for everyone. Lawson, how long can he go? He has shown in the past he can be quite the tyre whisperer. So how much longer does he want to go on these mediums? I don't think he wants to go too long, because even with an offset, I just don't think it would be worth it. Yeah, coming into the pits now. All right, Norris in the pit, 28.8 seconds total time. So there we go, around 28 seconds total time in the pits. Lawson in the pit. They haven't given me the reading of the actual pit stop. Okay, there we are, 2.5 for Lawson, so pretty quick. It's good to see. Where will he feed out? Will he come out in front of Lindblad, or will he have just enough gap to stay out in front? Okay, Hamilton round the outside of George at Copse Corner. He made it stick. Russell is fighting back down the inside. Oh, mate, they're getting close. Good aggressive racing by both of them, especially Lewis. But George back down the inside, down the back straight here. Clearly a deployment past that one. So, George, he holds position. Okay, happy with that. Lawson maintains his lead over Arvid Lindblad by around, say, 2 seconds. So, Kimi, still out there. If we're looking at, we've got 3 cars that are running long on the mediums. Behrman back in P16, Bottas in P19, Antonelli, of course, current race leader. Last lap, he lost another 4/10 to Charles. Now, there was a different strategy that Pirelli did put forward regarding the one-stopper, and it was the medium onto soft. And they were saying that the pit window... Sorry, we've got Kimi on the radio. I just heard Bono say it's looking good. Yeah, so the other strategy with starting on a medium was the medium to soft, and they were saying that pit window for that particular strategy would be lap 29 to lap 35. So let's see. Do Mercedes go down that route for Kimi? I don't think so. I don't think they will. Okay, Valtteri's in the pits, and we have Lewis and Russell continuing their fight. Hamilton's looking pretty aggressive, trying to go the long way around. All right, here we go. Does the Ferrari have extra deployment here? He's on the gearbox, trying to go around the outside. He's done. He's done it. Beautiful. Around the outside of Brooklands. Now, but Russell going down to Copse. Russell down the inside. Eden. Oh, mate. Every time I see those type of moves down Copse, I always just think of Max and Lewis a few years back. But Russell got the job done. Looked like Lewis just backed off a little bit. Now, the problem is, with George Russell and Lewis Hamilton scrapping, it's allowing Verstappen to keep doing his thing. Although, realistically, when you look at Max, he hasn't really been able to pull away as much as he probably should have with George and Hamilton battling like they were. So we've got a pretty decent battle here for P3 between Max, George, and Lewis. The issue with Max is he is on quite a offset, like older tyre, 14 laps to 8. Now, it looks like Hamilton's just falling back a little bit in that battle. But again, battery deployment, who knows? Is he harvesting? Possibly. All right, so one of the big battles is naturally between the Racing Bulls boys. Looks like Arvid has come back at Liam quite aggressively. He's back, I think, within a second. So Kimi still running the mediums. The only guy out there that hasn't pitted. His last lap was his best lap time with a 33.4. Oh no. They are on the radio for George saying George has a slow puncture of the rear right. but he's making the move on Max. Oh! Max is hanging it on the outside. He holds his position. Russell didn't go into the pits. So it hasn't seemed to have slowed him down. So Coulthard's making the point that could it be a sensor failure? Okay, so the Mercedes mechanics are going back into the garage. They were out there with the tyres ready. Russell's back on the radio. Just keep me posted on the pressures. And he's got another boxer slap. Now he's holding his position. Lewis is getting close. No. It's interesting because, yeah, the pace is still there for George. George making the move on Max. Max holds it around the outside. Oh, mate. Super aggressive from Max there and George. George does peel off into the pits. And unfortunately, yeah, slow puncture of the rear right. So now when we're looking at podium, it looks like Russell is out of the mix and it's going to be down to P3 between the old sparring partners between Max and Lewis. Look, I don't think Max will be able to hold on from here with the tight offset as well that Lewis has. Lewis does look quicker, but I don't think Max is going to yield that easily. So Russell's come back out on the medium just in front of P8, so he comes back at P7. Now, Kimi has been given the box, so 34 laps on these mediums. Quite a long way further than anyone on the mediums. So what are they going to do? Do they go softs from here? Oh. Kimi almost got collected by an Audi in the pits. 2.4 second pit stop. So Kimi probably lost a little bit of time. Okay, so Kimi out, 28.9 second loss total. Okay, so hard's on for Kimi. So 7.7 seconds, that's the gap. If he wants to win the race, that's what he needs to eat into. So Arvid's still within that 1 second of Liam, fight for P8. Now the issue for those two boys is they don't want to get too tangled into a fight and allow Bortoleto to close the gap. Bortoleto is 3.3 seconds behind P9, which is, of course, Arvid Lindblad. All right, turn 15 incident involving George Russell and Max Verstappen noted. It was aggressive. I don't think anything will come of it. What do you think, chat? Can Antonelli find 7 seconds over the last 16 laps? Just keep in mind he does have a 10 lap offset of tyres. Okay, Piastri's being told to box, so he was unable to go all the way on those hards. Got through 30 laps, 33 laps on the hards, so he'll be coming in and... Do they throw some softs on from here? Take a bit of a gamble? I mean, they've got really nothing to lose. Okay, I'm keeping a keen eye on Liam. Oh, hold on. Hamilton. Oh, he's having a look at Max. He's right on the gearbox. He's looking to go around the outside of Vale. Nope. Okay, we're coming down to... Oh, no. Here we go. Yeah, Hamilton is sizing up Max. I'm keeping a keen eye on Liam Lawson and Lindblad, the battle for P8. And this is getting a little spicy between Max and Lewis here. It's good. Okay, Hamilton, the neck and neck. And Lewis got the job done. So, can Max fight back? I don't think so. It looks like Lewis is going to gap. We've got a yellow flag out. Stop the car. We have an issue. Okay, here we go. Hulkenberg. He is pulled over near Cop's Corner on the inside. It's I don't know. Do they pull out the... It is well off track on the inside of the virtual safety car. There we go. All right, Verstappen straight into the box. Here we go. Timing for the Red Bull right then. Perfect. As soon as that VSC came out, he was basically bang straight into the pits. So fresh mediums by the look of it. Yep. Fresh mediums on for Max. Bit of a slow pit stop, really. 3 seconds. Norris is also taking the advantage of the VSC from P5. Okay, Hadjar is taking advantage of the stop as well from P7. Okay, Charles on the radio. What's the plan? Stay out. Hadjar's had a very slow stop. 9.8 seconds for Isaac Hadjar. So they nerfed his stop. He'll be spewing, mate. He'll be spewing under the helmet. Although I don't think it really affects him too much as far as he's got a huge gap over the Racing Bulls. So VSC ending. So poor Hulkenberg. Another DNF for the Audi. Definitely a theme of the season. Better news, though, is for Gabby Bortoletto, still holding down P10 by somewhat of a massive gap over Colapinto. So as long as the second Audi doesn't blow up, there should be a point for Gabby. All right, so the gap, around 5 seconds, 13 laps left, big tyre offset. I would be definitely backing Kimi from this position here. So Lance Stroll is under investigation. I think he's had 5 off tracks. Lance Stroll just, keeping the stewards busy just for the hell of it. Good to see the Cadillac still running. We haven't seen their brakes blow up. There you go, Lance Stroll, 5-second penalty. 5th offence of track limits. Oh. Verstappen on the radio, I guess we're pushing, right? So Verstappen on a fresh medium, Hamilton on a 16-lap-old hard, 10-second gap, 13 laps. Could Max scoop up that final podium position? Probably not worth probably quite possible. Let's see. Keep a look at those last laps between Lewis and Max. Yeah, so no further investigation regarding the aggressive pass or the aggressive racing between Russell and Verstappen. That's a right call. So poor old Hulkenberg, the only car that has retired from the race, so a far cry from that P3 podium last year for, what was his first career ever podium, wasn't it? When he was with Sauber, or Stake. Let's get it right, the Green Machine. All right, so if you look at the last lap between Charles and Kimi, big. Oh no, Kimi's got an issue. You're kidding me. Kimi. No. Kimi's into the pits. Ah, for fuck. Something's broken. He doesn't know what it is. Bono's on the radio saying, we're looking into it. It looks like it's a suspension issue. They're coming in. They've got a new nose cone ready to go. Now, they've taken the front nose off. They've replaced with a new one. They've got him back out. So it was a 15-second pit stop. Verstappen's moved up into P3. Russell is now ahead of Kimi. Now they put the medium on. And we've got a 1-2 Ferrari. Well, this is the thing. This is what we've been saying a lot, hey? Mercedes and their reliability has been questionable. But that was a shame. All right, so we've got Lando making a big move on Kimi as well. Nah, Kimi's off the track. He's got an issue. He's got a proper issue. He's off. He can't even... So Kimi on the radio. Suspension is broken. Yeah. It's definitely like crabbing a bit. Like when you look at the car, it doesn't look like there's an issue with it. But you can kind of tell that the stability's not there. So he's on the radio again. I can try to keep going. So Bono's on the radio saying, we think it is the wheel shield on the left-hand side. So the thing is, the car is not turning on the radio and he's been told to stand by. So the idea here for Kimi is damage limitation. Can he... I mean, there's too many laps left. There's still got 10 laps. Hadjar's made the pass on him. I really feel for him, eh? I really feel for Kimi here. Yeah, so it seems to be the left-handers. He's just... They're going to box it. He's on the radio. Bono's told him to box, but he's like, I can try to salvage a point. But he's through Maggers and Beckett's. So the idea is pit one more time, try and remove the wheel shield and get him back out there. Ah, there it is. So they showed a replay. On the front left, he kind of runs over the curb, and then there's the... They're calling it the wheel shield. And basically what it's done is it's folded back. So they're looking to pull it off. They got it off. They got it off. He's off. He's out. Okay, so... Okay, so he's back in 10th. He's coming out of the pits now. He has a massive gap to where Franco comes. So he's still in the points. Okay, so he's come out in front of Franco. Now, has he got performance to hold on? But I do really feel for Kimi because realistically, he was probably in prime seat to get a win here, crawl back the gap that Leclerc had on him, which I think at the time was around 4 to 5 seconds. Okay, so let's see what Kimi can do. He's got, what, 14 seconds to pull on Bortoletto, which is just not going to happen in 8 laps. There's no way. Kimi's saying this. Yeah, they're going to box the car. Kimi is on the radio. He said it's there's something worse. It hasn't helped. So Colapinto's right behind him now. There's no way he could stay out there and just trundle around with 8 laps left to hold on to that last point. So these are the breaks, huh? This is the ebb and flow of good luck, bad luck. So remember, Verstappen stopped at the VSC. He's got the fresher medium tyre versus Hamilton. He's got a bit of work to do. It's almost, what are we looking at, 6, 7 seconds. Okay, so Kimi hasn't come into the pits. He's going to stick with it. He's going to try and hold on to this point. The issue is, yeah, coming into Maggers and Beckett's, he just loses a lot of speed, a lot of time. So, And this is where shit compounds, right? So Kimi's on the radio. He's going, I'm going to try and stay out. I'm going to try and get this point. And now Bono's like, mate, we're getting track limits for all these excursions. So, poor Kimi, man. Look, the thing is, at the end of the day, point's a point. You just never know how close these championships can get. We saw like a couple of points difference last year between Max Verstappen and Lando for the championship. So, you know, sometimes these are those moments you look back on and go, yep, that was the difference. So the interesting thing is, Kimi is able to. Oh no! So Kimi, I got bad news if you're a Kimi fan. He's just been given a 5-second time penalty for track limits. Now Palmer's suggesting to stay out and argue it afterwards. Because maybe maybe they can argue it. Maybe, you know, the mitigation of the car issue. But let's see. He currently has he's got a 3-second lead over Colapinto. And Antonelli, he's like, I'm going for it. I love it. I love his attitude, man. I love his attitude to racing. F it, I'm going for it. Okay, so Albon's day is over. It was horrible from the start, pretty much from lap 1. He has... Oh, someone's off. Max Verstappen's off. Max is off. He's in the gravel. He's in the gravel. Down, of all places, down there at Stowe, Lando... We've got the safety car. We have a full safety car. You're kidding me. Charles will be spewing. He's got a 24-second lead. And now we've got Hadjar coming into the pits. Who's going to take pits? Who's going to hold track position? So I haven't seen Verstappen's off. What happened? Okay, so what are the Ferraris going to play out here? So Perez in the pits, Lawson's in the pit, Lindblad. So the Racing Bulls are, well, they're potentially double stacking there in the pit lane. Bortoleto in the pits as well. Now, Antonelli, this is the thing. Kimi is still lapping around. Kimi is still out there. Keep in mind, though, he does have that 5-second penalty. Now, here we go. Ferrari is in. Which one is that? Who is that? That is Charles. All right, so Charles is into the pits. So put on the softs for Leclerc. It is a no-brainer because he does have such the gap over Hamilton, and especially with the safety car as well. It's a little slower. Okay, Lewis is coming into the pits as well. So, drama. So Russell is staying out. He's not taking the pit lane, I don't think. He's going for track position. Keep in mind, Russell's never had a podium here. Okay. Russell is out in second. Now this plays into Charles' hands a bit because you got to remember Charles has the fresh softs, and now Russell is in between, and will back. Well, it's going to make it a little bit harder for Hamilton. So we've got Max Verstappen going through Stowe. Rear got loose, snap, over corrected off. And yeah. Yeah, it looks a bit odd. Palmer reckons something broke on the rear of the car. Just the way that it went off. Unfortunate. Max Verstappen, I'm stuck. I think he basically said something along the lines of, "I hate this effing car." He's not happy. Not happy. All right, so Liam Lawson up into P6. Very happy with that. Been a good race for the Racing Bulls. Double points by the looks of things. 7 Lindblad right behind him. Bortoletto also on the scrub sets. Bortoletto's basically on a fresh set of softs. So there's a race control Hamilton incident. Yellow flag infringement has been noted. Okay, we've got 3 laps left. We may be good for 1 green lap. Yeah, I don't know if this is... So Bono's on the radio to Kimi just explaining the 5-second penalty. And yeah, felt for Kimi just the way you're saying, like he had no choice due to the car, everything. You know what? Mercedes probably have a pretty good argument to try and counter that after the race. At the moment, Antonelli's running 9th. So it's 2 points. It means a lot in this championship. Oh my God. I swear when Charles went past then, it looked like there was a lot of smoke coming out of the rear of the car. But I think it was just the way he was going on the track, maybe into a dustier area offline. So by the looks of it, the way we're getting set up here with the safety car, potentially a 1-lap shootout. Russell will be could Hamilton get past Russell with a fresh soft? Or does Russell have enough fight in him to hold on to P2? And you got to remember too, this is important for Hamilton's title aspirations as well, because now the title leader is sitting back at P9, potentially with the penalty and picking up no points. Hamilton taking P2 is good points. So yeah, Hamilton's on the radio asking what mode should he be in. He wants maximum power for the rest of the race. Totally understandable. I'm sure everybody is thinking along those lines. So lap cars may now overtake the safety car. So here we go. Lap cars may now overtake the safety car. That is Piastri, Alonso, Behrman, Ocon, Stroll, Perez, and Valtteri. Look, you'd back Charles from here, being on that fresh soft, and then having Russell essentially the rear gunner on the old medium. All right. How aggressive does Russell get trying to keep Hamilton behind him? Coulthard makes a pretty good point with this restart. He's suggesting with Russell clearly on the old medium, saying just dump the whole battery to try and get ahead of Charles Leclerc. Just to, I guess he's saying throw the spanner in the works, so to speak. Because the expectation would be Leclerc runs off from Russell from this point. All right, safety car ending. Here we go. Look, the thing is, we've got Norris there too. Norris and P4, he could get pretty fired up. All on the line, one lap. Got to remember, Lando doesn't really have anything to lose as far as championship aspirations at this point of the year. Whereas Russell and Hamilton... Oh, hold on. Safety car was meant to come in. He's still out there. So this is it. Everyone's confused. We're on the final lap behind the safety car. So we've got controversy. What's a Formula One race without controversy? So yeah, there we go. It's going to finish under a yellow. Charles Leclerc is going to take his first win of the season. George Russell is going to get his first ever podium. And it's good luck for Russell. He was basically the sitting duck, sitting on that old 23-lap medium. And Hamilton, P3, he's probably a bit upset. I think he would have, of course he would have backed himself to at least take P2. So yeah, we won't hear the last of this. This will clearly be the big thing over the next 24 hours. So my understanding is the safety car was asked to come in and it was going to be a one-lap shootout. And the safety car never came in. So everyone still seems a bit confused. Okay, so the safety car has come in, but this is it. No one can overtake until the start-finish line. Charles Leclerc takes the checkered flag. To be honest, he was deserving of the win, although with Kimi Antonelli. Kimi Antonelli, I think, probably had enough with that big tyre offset and the pace in the Mercedes to realistically get the win. Unfortunately, reliability issues, and Kimi, after the 5-second penalty, finishes P16. He did cross the line, I believe, in P9. So I think Mercedes will definitely argue the point of the track limits, but let's see. That'll be an interesting outcome, especially in relation to the championship. I tell you though, Charles on the radio is pretty animated. You feel the pressure release on that one. You really do. Yeah, so Charles, he's like, this one feels particularly good. So I think Charles like really messed up the quote about like tough times don't last, tough people last or something. It didn't quite sound as slick as it should. So that's the British Grand Prix race, tinged with a lot of controversy, reliability issues. We keep talking about it. It's it's going to throw up these good and bad times for some of these guys that are in the hunt for the championship, and we just saw it. A massive swing. Kimi most likely would have won the race, P2 at worst, and now he walks away with absolutely no points. Russell able to pick up a pretty fortuitous P2 in the end, and even ran the luck with the safety car debacle, not being a sitting duck on those really old tyres. And this is the ebb and flow of the championship, isn't it? Well, yeah, very interesting post-race interviews coming up. I would strongly, I'm pretty sure Mercedes will probably fight the 5-second penalty for Kimi Antonelli, see if he can get reinstated back to P9. That is an important 2 points. I'm super stoked for Liam Lawson again in the points, P6 finish, good points in the bag, good clean race. His teammate right behind him, P7. So that battle for P5 in the constructors. Good point for the Racing Bulls. And, well, their main competitor for P5 in the championship for the constructors is, of course, Alpine as well. So double points for them with P9, P10. Gabby back in the points finally, picking up some really good points for Audi. It's been a long time coming. But I tell you, Charles getting out of the car right now, you do feel it was very much a pressure release win. It's exactly what he needed before we're getting close to the midsummer break. I think 2 more races until then. So good result. Good result. Well, chat, I think it's almost time to wrap it up. But yeah, there's going to be plenty of discussion around what we just saw. The last few laps, very hectic. Look, I feel really sorry for Kimi Antonelli. He's still sitting in his car. It does actually look like he's wiping tears away, to be honest. He's getting out of the car really slowly. So really unlucky because look, I'm not going to say with 100% certainty he was going to win that race, but I'd probably say 99%. He was clearly, he had a massive tyre offset. He came out of the pits in P2. He had, not a huge gap to overcome. He was starting to eat into it. I think at that point, before he had the car failure, he was around 4 seconds away from Charles. He clearly looked faster. There were plenty of laps left. And then, yeah, unfortunately, looks to be like a suspension issue. They at the time, they didn't quite know what it was. So, yeah, unfortunate. So, chat, are we happy with the result? Did your favourite driver get the result that you're after? Yeah, Coulthard was David Coulthard on the commentary was just saying that he felt a little deflated. There was a lot of build up and excitement coming into what we thought we were going to get, which was that a one lap crack at the end, and just the excitement, thinking that safety car was coming in. Lando, LN4, live on. Good result really for Lando in the end. P4. Got to remember he snagged the P3 in the sprint race yesterday. You know what? It's a bit of a shame that we didn't get that one lap shootout, because you would have backed Norris to probably pinch a P3, because Russell was a sitting duck. Massive sitting duck on those 24 old tyres, 24 old medium tyres, and everyone around him were on the fresh softs. So yeah, tough one for Kimi. I think this is probably one of the biggest disappointments of his career, really. It was just hard. That would be a hard one to swallow. Yeah, I agree. Should have had the last lap shootout. Yeah, I still don't really know what went on, because as I was listening to the commentary, they were saying that safety car is in this lap, we're going to get one lap green, and then it didn't happen. So no one's really updated the reason why. Was it miscommunication? Don't know what the FIA are doing. Yeah, I think a lot of us half the time don't know what the FIA are doing in their own little world. Closeted Charlie Boy fan. Look, I think Charles was a deserved winner. He was quick. He was quick. Yes, Antonelli most likely would have got the win, but as far as where Charles was before all the hectic stuff of Max going off, he had a decent gap. Like Charles and Antonelli, let's be honest, they were quite some way ahead of the others. But yeah, I can't wait to see what the response is over the next few hours on X and social media channels. There'll be a lot of fighting, a lot of disagreements. What should have happened? Definitely going to get some Ferrari mafia, FIA mafia memes and all that type of stuff. George talking now. Look, he looks pretty relieved, I think, pulling off a P2. Very lucky. Very lucky picking up massive points. No, he didn't put a foot wrong. It was a good race from Charles. Lucky to gain from others. Misfortune, yeah, that is racing. Definitely racing. The ebb and flow of luck and bad luck. And I remember Mick and I think when it was after, God, who was it? I think it was when around Kimi won his fourth race in a row, and then people started to say like, "Oh, the championship's over." He's gapping, pulling a massive gap, and I remember saying at the time like, "Yeah, he's been the quicker driver generally overall, but George did have a little bit of luck, bit of mechanical luck over a few races." And I remember saying that it can completely flip really quickly, and we've seen it. We've seen Kimi now Out of the Mercedes boys, you could say, yeah, the last, probably the two major retirements have come on Kimi's side this time. So where does Max Verstappen go from here? Because he was pretty pissed off all weekend with what that car offered him. And of course, the rumours are only going to heat up as we come into the silly season, into summer break. And naturally, the biggest rumour is regarding around what the performance clause is if he does want to jump out of the contract. A lot of people are suggesting that he will keep his word that he gave to the late Dietrich Mateschitz regarding about seeing off his contract. But hey, look, times do change. When you look at everyone around the Red Bull garage, it's completely different. GP is obviously going over to McLaren. So let's see. I was just looking at Oscar, unable to get back into the points after the first lap incident. So I still haven't even seen exactly what happened to Oscar. He got the front wing damage. It was lap one, lap two otherwise, very early. And he came in, put the hards on, and it looked like he was potentially going to go for a one-stopper and just basically finish the race on the hards. Well, in fact, I think that's what he was going to do. Hang on, let me have a look. No, he did come in, put the mediums on, then he did take the that safety car stop. So finishing just outside of the points, P11. So let me know in the chat if you think the... Oh, thanks. Yeah, look, it's pretty hard doing this like commentary watch along gig, I must admit. I only just sort of started doing them just recently over the last few races. So yeah, thanks for joining in. Hopefully Mick will be back because when Mick joins me, it's normally easier to sort of bounce off, chatting with someone. And it's always good when people throw comments in. Gives me something to talk about. So yeah, thanks for joining and yeah, enjoy the rest of your night. Look forward to the next race in a few weeks. All right, so unfortunately, we now fall into no man's land next week. Nothing to watch. No Formula One, so back to touching grass, having to deal with the real world for a while. It's always a lot of fun. Let me have a look. When is the next race? I think it's just a 2-week break, isn't it? So Belgium, next time out, beautiful track, Spa, 17th to the 19th of July. So yeah, a couple of weeks until then. And then we go back to back with Hungary. So 2 more races left and summer break. Expect the silliness and rumour train to start going overdrive over the next week regarding, I would say, Esteban Ocon. Yeah, a lot of pressure on Esteban to keep his seat going into 2027. What is Carlos Sainz going to do over at Williams? Because, yeah, he is one guy that I think has a lot of market value on the grid, and there are probably a few teams trying to entice him over. Williams just isn't looking too promising. Look, we've still got a few opportunities for some big upgrades to come. We know Aston Martin is targeting Hungary now. It was meant to be Belgium, but it looks like they've pushed it back a little bit. Williams need to do a lot of work and get that car on Weight Watchers if they want to keep Sainz. Albon, just another terrible weekend, unfortunately. And yeah, Colapinto doing what he needs to do, and he outperformed Pierre Gasly with a P9. So can't complain with that. All right, ladies and gents, wherever you may be in the world, have a good evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you may be. Of course, I will appreciate any likes of the video, even subbing to the channel. That'll be massive. We will get a British GP review up possibly on Monday or Tuesday latest. I'll probably do another solo one. Mick returns from his European summer adventures tomorrow night, and then he'll be back for the preview for Belgium. All right, guys, going to finish up the stream there. Again, plenty of stuff to discuss over the next few hours regarding what was it, a safety car debacle? Was it? I'll leave it up to everyone to complain about that. All right, guys, finishing up. Catch you all later.